Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now November 16th of 2023, and given that the Marvels is still performing very poorly at the box office and it's not looking to have any sign of a rebound or a recovery, at least throughout the remainder of this week and next week, this most certainly is going to be a film, and I talked about this before in the past, that you are going to see on Disney Plus, at least in just under 2 months from now, without a doubt. Now, we know that this movie has a lot of things going for it that's leading it to it becoming a massive failure, and a lot of it has to do with the aimless storytelling, the acting, as well as the agenda that has been pushed into this movie by Nia DaCosta, and let's not forget about the Disney heads that actually really wanted this movie to be what it is and to really kind of double down on the usage of the nature of this movie and where it stands. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, the thing about the Marvels is that we know that Brie Larson and Nia DaCosta, they are endlessly blaming the toxic male demographic. They have blamed them on multiple occasions, a non-existent group, by the way. As far as I see things, there's no such thing as a toxic male demographic, just males that are really just not in tune with this movie, The Marvels, and just don't want to flat out see it based on the reviews and based on Disney's direction. You know, if you create a proper story, if you create a proper tale that has great character development, trust me, both females and males will equally show up and support the film. And the fact that not many males are really interested in seeing this movie, let alone, by the way, guys, their core audience that they were aiming for, a lot of women did not end up seeing this film, and that's one thing that they're very angry about. But when it comes down to Kathleen Kennedy, this is where things really get interesting. Now, one major development has to do with Kathleen Kennedy and her reaction to the Marvel's box office disaster, and more by delivering the following. As someone who has been working on Star Wars for over 10 years now, as we shift to focus on more female-led projects here at Lucasfilm, our one challenge that I find we are constantly meeting is the vocal minority that creates unnecessary criticism toward our cast, crew, and creators. We saw this happen with our Star Wars films, and now we are seeing it happen with The Marvels by Nia DaCosta, who is someone that I absolutely admire and hope to work with someday on a Star Wars project. The criticism that she and those that I have worked on with Star Wars have been receiving are not only unfair, but they are biased takes on a story that everyone at Disney finds are those that never want to see this film anyway. I believe The Marvels is a great attempt at Disney to push for normalizing female-led films / projects and to push that into acceptance, as this is something that a group of or demographic male audiences that are seemingly against these types of films. I believe that The Marvels is Disney's greatest film yet to support equality in the best way possible, to give women a chance in the spotlight, something that has been long overdue, as male-led roles have been around for decades. It's about time that we witnessed a film like this in the mainstream, especially for comics. As a great friend of Kevin, she's talking about Kevin Feige, I absolutely support his decision to move forward with this approach and how he is going to continue doing more projects just like this. Many of those in the public are going to want to convince others that this film is a failure financially, and that's just a big example of the struggle that we deal with today. Now guys, let me just pause here quick before I move on. Now, the fact that this is becoming a bigger trend of strictly focusing on female-led projects just for the sake of doing it, that's why these movies are gonna fail. Look at The Marvels. Look at the latest trailer, or the teaser, whatever you want to call it, from Madame Web. I don't know about you guys, but the acting is terrible just in the trailer alone. The dialogue, it feels like it comes directly from a B-movie of some kind that's, you know, not meant to be on screen in a movie theater. I'm just still shocked that this movie's happening by Sony and it's actually getting out there. Now, you may have a different opinion on Madame Web, but if you check out the trailer, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about your thoughts on the dialogue delivery in the trailer alone, the acting, and just the general energy that's coming through that trailer, the way it was edited and acted from the actors. So what's interesting, though, is that they're also pushing for The Acolyte. We know that The Acolyte is going to be a big mess. If you thought Kathleen Kennedy was bad, just wait for Leslie Headland, and I'm not kidding. She's like worse than Kathleen Kennedy. And that is not an over-exaggeration. This is someone that said that if you believe George Lucas is the key to creating good Star Wars projects, then you're a misogynist. And that's the misogyny, that's the problem. Through her own words on a podcast, Leslie Headland said that. So what's interesting about this further, Kathleen Kennedy goes on to elaborate again, that is a sign of those that are rejecting these types of films. It's why I am so proud to be working with The Acolyte for Leslie Headland. This will be our first all-female-led Star Wars series, and will be even established further and deeper than our Ahsoka show. We felt it was right to aim The Acolyte to quite possibly becoming a multi-season show, and that's what we care about aiming for currently. I know Kevin, and he finds the reaction to the Marvels to be quite concerning about how the world accepts change in the film industry and where it is currently heading to respect women on all fronts. I am also proud to announce that we will be announcing more Star Wars projects that support the idea that Kevin has had in mind with the Marvels, and I am standing by this change to evolve the brand. Now, it's funny, guys, I don't know if you have been following this, but Kevin Feige, he was offered a Star Wars movie. It didn't go that far into development, mind you. It really didn't go into early development, technically speaking. He was just offered a project by Kathleen Kennedy. It went into limbo mode because of all of the Marvel's disasters, or the Marvel disasters, I should say, at the box office, and the struggles that he was dealing with creatively. And so that's why he lost that Star Wars project. They decided to part their ways. So Kevin has to focus on Marvel now to kind of create a rebound, right? So here's the problem with this, is that we know that someone like Kathleen Kennedy, who, I can't stress this enough, she is as close as it is when it comes to a friend to Kevin Feige. I mean, that's why you have Kevin Feige doing his thing and Kathleen Kennedy doing her thing, and how they both kind of support each other and guide each other on the direction of these franchises. And that's why Kevin was offered, this movie that went nowhere. Now, what's interesting about that, too, is the fact that Kathleen Kennedy uses the Marvels and the criticism surrounding it to kind of really just shoehorn her placement or her overall promotion of a project like The Acolyte in there. We know that this is geared up for 2024. In case you guys did not know, they're trying to get this thing out by summer, and it was delayed by a little bit. They wanted to get this thing out by early 2024. Now it's aimed for middle 2024, and I think it's going to be a wreck. I think it's going to be another Star Wars disaster, if not bigger than The Last Jedi. I really do believe it will be The Last Jedi 2.0, just because how Leslie Headland is on board. And we all know who Leslie Headland once was, the personal assistant of a certain somebody. I think that you guys all know who I'm talking about. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments if you guys did enjoy the content for today. And if you guys would like to actually shed light on the situation, I would love to hear from you. And I'll catch you guys later.